start with another part. I'll continue with Ranga's marriage. So I've told you that Ranga was the son of an accountant and he returned back to Husiali village. So the next paragraph. Now, actually, the narrator in the story, he has described about his village, Hoshiali. And he said that in their village, not many, means few, only few used to speak in English, rest in Kannada. So, the narrator says that what has happened is disgraceful, believe me. Now he says that he found something very disgraceful. Actually, a lady, she came to deliver the logs of wood for fire, and that woman, she asked money, but Rama Rao's son, he spoke in English, and and he said he asked the price. She said 4 paisa, but he said that I don't have the change. Then the poor woman did not understand the English word change. Actually, she was not able to make it out what does the word change mean, and she left and she went away muttering means speaking lonely, and she went away from there. And later when he went to Ranga's house, the narrator, I went means when he went to narrator, and when the narrator went to Ranga's place, he asked the meaning of change, then he understood what it meant. So, the priceless commodity, the English language, was not so widespread in our village a decade ago. He says that the widespread language means the language material which is spoken everywhere, and it was not, the narrator says that it was not much popular in their village. That is why he says Ranga's homecoming was a great event. People, they rushed to his doorstep, and they wanted to see Ranga. They wanted to see Ranga, and so they rushed to his they rushed outside his house rather. The accountant's son has come. Now they were screaming that the accountant's son, he has returned to the native place, and he has come from Bangalore. He had completed his studies and now he has come. Now when the narrator, he was also attracted by the crowd, and he too went in the courtyard means veranda. He also went over there, and the people, the young fellow, a boy fellow, he said that why all these people come. The narrator asked him that why all of them have gathered over there, and there's no monkey performing, means there is no monkey dance over there. So the boy, he says without any brains, means fool. Fully, he said that he screamed that in case if we are watching the monkey dance, then what you are doing over here. So the youngster, immature and without any manners, thinking that all these things were now of the past. So he says that I was quiet at that time because I was also speechless and I was also standing among the crowd. So seeing so many people there, Ranga came out with a smile. Ranga stepped out of his house with a smile, and when all the people had gone, black hole of Calcutta, thank God it did not. So he says that he turned back. He did not moved ahead for the job and all, and he thanked God for it. And everyone was surprised to see that Ranga was the same as he had 6 months ago, and people, they were surprised to see that he had not changed. No doubt he has left his village, but he has not changed. He is just the same. What happened was, and this question is also very important, that how come the people, they came to know that Ranga has not changed. So here the narrator, he has narrated an incident that an old lady an old lady came near him and he ran her hand over his chest. Actually, an old lady came and he ran her hand over his chest, and she found that janehu. that Janehu people, they wear a white color thread, na? So it was there. So when she saw that Janehu is there, Janevira is actually, it is in Kannada, and it is a sacred thread. It is normally, children, it is worn by the Brahmins. So when she found that thread on his chest, then she realized that he has not changed. Once they realized that Ranga still had the same hands, legs, and eyes and nose, the crowd melted away like a lump of sugar. Now, what do you mean by melted away? Melted away here means, children, actually they disappeared. When they saw that Ranga has not changed, Ranga is wearing the Janehu also, and Ranga is just the same, then they just disappeared. How are you, Rangappa? Is everything well with you? It was well with Ranga, noticed me. And then Ranga wished and greeted the narrator also. And he says that Ranga's character, now he is discussing that I want to draw the attention towards the Ranga's character. He knew when it would be to his advantage to talk to someone and rightly assessed people's worth. Now, he says that he was the one who assessed, who respected the elders. As for namaskara to me, he did not do it in the present day boy. In case if we expect the children wish, they will wish, the narrator says that we cannot expect the boys these days. But he folded his hands and he wished and greeted the narrator, standing stiff like a pole without joints, jerking his body in a wave and nearly. Now he says, further he says that he wanted to draw the attention towards his character. Why did he say, children? Actually, he wanted to say that I want to tell you something about Rangappa also. Or the Rangappa took the blessings also from the narrator, and he says that he is not like that, that he will take advantage of the people. In this paragraph, he says he used to respect, and he respected and he touched the feet of the narrator, and then he says that he stood like a stiff pole. In case if these days if we find the children, they are no doubt they greet the elders, but they roam here and there. But Rangappa, he stood there like a stiff pole. And then he said that then the narrator gave him the blessing to get married soon. Then I said, blessing him, after exchanging a few pleasantries, I left. After exchanging few pleasantries means when we make merrymaking. Actually, pleasantries over here, children, means merrymaking. When we make fun, when we enjoy, when we share jokes. So after talking to him, then the narrator left. That afternoon, when I was resting, Ranga came to my house with a couple of oranges in his hand. A generous, considerate fellow. Now he has depicted one more quality of Rangappa character, that he was considerate, thoughtful. Okay, considerate means thoughtful. A generous fellow, the one who is ready to give. So he came to the narrator's house with the oranges. He visited narrator's house, and he asked him that he thought that for a while we talked about this and that. Then I came to the point. Then when did you the narrator asked him, I am not going to get married. He asked him that when do you plan to get married, that when is he planning to get married. So he says that I am not going to get married now. So the narrator was surprised, and he asked why. Then he told the Rangappa then told the reason behind it. Then he said that I want to find the right girl. He says that the officer I knew, he got married 6 months ago, and that particular officer was of 30 years and his wife was 25, and they talked lovingly. And let's say I married a very young girl, she may take my words spoken in love. And he says that recently a troupe in Bangalore staged the play Shakuntala. There is no question of Dushyant falling in love with Shakuntala if she were young like the present day brides. What would have happened to Kalidas play? If one gets married, it should be to the girl who is mature. Now, the character trait which is depicted over here, Rangappa actually wanted to get married in this paragraph, children. He is saying that he wished rather to get married to a girl who is mature. Rather, he says, in case if I'll not find a mature girl, I would prefer to stay bachelor. So he says that then the narrator asked him the reason behind this decision. He says that he further clarifies that the man should marry a girl to whom he loves, to whom he admires. Now he says that we have arranged marriages, but how can one admire a girl with the milk stains on one side of her face and wetness on the other? Now he says that in case if a girl is there and she is having stains actually, children, means blocks on her face, and she is not pretty enough, then how can even I how to bite her fingers, and even how can I admire that particular girl? So he says one a neem fruit and the other a bitter gourd. So he says that in case if I have one is neem and another one is bitter gourd, means karela. So in case if I have both the things, then how can I digest it? So then the narrator actually says that one neem fruit, another bitter gourd. So Ranga says exactly, Ranga approves this thing. He says that you are right. I was distressed that the boy who I thought would make a good husband had decided to remain a bachelor. Now the narrator was a little bit dejected by the thought that because he was aware that Ranga would become a very good husband. So at the thought that he would remain bachelor, he was a little bit dejected by the thought. And after chattering, children, chattering means talking, so after talking for a little longer, Ranga left, and I made up my mind right then. The narrator thought that okay, in case if Ranga is not ready to search out for a girl, the narrator decided to search a girl for Ranga. Rama Rao's niece, a pretty girl of 11, had come to stay with him. Now, there was a girl who came to stay with Rama Rao's because she was a niece of Rama Rao, and she was staying at Rama Rao's place. She was from a big town, so she knew how to play with the veena and harmonium, and she was very good in music. She used to play veena and harmonium, and she had a pretty good voice. So actually her parents, both mother and father, they had died, and her uncle had brought her home. So Ranga was just the boy for her, and she the most suitable bride for him. Actually, why? Because Ranga himself decided to get married to a mature lady, isn't it? So this girl, actually, she is quite mature, and she came to stay with her uncle's place, and she came to stay over there. Since I was a frequent visitor to Rao's place, the girl was quite free with me. Now that actually the narrator used to visit, he used to frequently visit to Rama Rao's place. So that particular girl, she was free. She used to freely talk with the narrator, and her name was Ratna. So then the very next morning, what did the narrator do? He went to Rama Rao's house, and he said that I have brought some buttermilk. Tell Ratna to come to my place, and she can collect the buttermilk from my home. Now Ratna came to the narrator's place, and it was Friday, and she was wearing a grand sari, and she was sitting over there. The narrator requested her to sing a song. So, and what did the narrator do next? When he called Ratna, he called the narrator as well. He called the Ranga as well. He called Ranga to his place, and Ratna was also there. So, while she was singing the song Krishna Murti in front of my eyes, Ranga reached the door. What did the narrator try to do is, narrator tried to bring them together. He wanted Ranga to see Ratna. He stopped at the threshold. He did not want the singing to stop, but was curious to see the singer. Actually, when Ranga came, he was fascinated by the song, and but he did not want it to disturb the singer. But he was curious to look at the singer. The light coming into the room was blocked. Actually, the light which was coming to the room, he was not able to make out properly. He was not able to make out the girl. Ratna looked up and seeing a stranger there abruptly stopped. Now Ratna was actually, she was zapped and she stopped abruptly in between. And suppose you buy the best quality mango, you eat it slowly, severing its peel. Children, severing its peel means testing its skin. Testing its skin means you are tasting the peel of the particular fruit before biting into the juicy flesh. He says, first of all, you will taste the peel. Peel means chillak. So then you will first of all taste its peel, its skin, and then you would bite into the juicy flesh. You do not want to waste any part of it. Before you take another bite, the fruit slips out of your hand and falls to the ground. How do you feel? Ranga's face showed the same disappointment when the singing stopped. Narrator actually, he gave the example, in case if there is a juicy fruit in your hand, first of all you are tasting the skin and then suddenly the fruit slipped from your hand. This was the expression he wanted to tell about Ranga when the singing at once stopped. Ranga's face showed the same disappointment. And you sent for me, he asked as he came in. And then he stepped inside and he asked the narrator that, did you call me? So Ratna, she at once stood at a distance, her head lowered. Ranga repeatedly glanced at her. He continuously looked at her. Ranga continuously looked at Ratna. And he was feeling embarrassed children means perplexed, means when you get nervous. So when they saw each other, she got nervous and nobody uttered a word. Now Ranga says, in case if I have stepped here and then you have stopped the singing, then I am leaving. So words, merry words, the fellow said he would leave, but did not make a move. He only told, he only said that I would leave, but he did not leave. They were only words. So how can one expect words to match action in these days of Kali Yuga? Now the narrator says that the words and the actions, they differ, especially in Kali Yuga. We say something but we perform something else. Now Ratna ran inside, overcome by shyness, and she ran inside. After a while, Ranga asked, who is that girl, Swami? Who's that inside? The loin wanted to know. The he goat who had gotten shelter in the temple replied, does it matter who I am? I am a poor animal who has already eaten 9 loins. I have vowed to eat one more. Tell me, are you made of male or female? The loin fled the place in fear, it seems. Like the he goat, I said, what does it matter to it? Now the narrator, actually children, don't get confused. He has actually he is actually narrating the incident in the form of a loin and the goat. So don't get confused in this paragraph. He goat up, don't think so ki where does the loin came from and where does the he goat came from. The meaning, actually he wanted to display that when Ranga says that, oh, who is that girl, so the basic actually message behind this thing is that what is the matter, what is the, in case if you are asking that who is inside, so there is no use asking that who is inside, because in case if it is